The Cubs cursed no more. Sports and politics go hand in hand, and Kobe finally rides off into the sunset. These are a few of our favorite things from this year in sports. Did your favorites make the cut? Stay tuned for our end of the year recap on Sports Weekly.
You are tuned into Black Hollywood Live, Sports Weekly.
This is an instrumental, right?
Yes.
Instrumental.
Yes.
J. Cole's new album, I Want to Fold Clothes for You. It's called Folding Clothes, though. I don't know the song, though. Have y'all heard it?
I have listened to it yet.
I've heard it yet.
I'm ashamed to say because I like J. Cole, but I haven't gotten the time to actually listen to his album, so.
JJ, have you heard it?
No, I haven't. I haven't heard it yet.
You're a loser.
Baseline, though.
Guys, every Thursday night, 7 o'clock, Sports Weekly. This is our end of the year recap episode. You guys are going to miss us so much. We're going to miss you more importantly. I'm Eric Renee Davis. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, on Insta Story, but not on Insta Live. I'm not there yet. At Erica Renee D.
Yo, guys, as soon as I finish
Clearly
tweeting and all that stuff, you can find me at social media, JJ the Talented.
I'm Josh Rodriguez. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_. Follow me. Let's become friends and debate some sports.
There you go. I'm Annika Michelle. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Annika Michelle1.
And as always, follow all things Black Hollywood Live on BlackHollywoodLive.com. Follow us on Twitter at BHL Online. Follow us on Instagram at The Sports Weekly. Charlie, I know you're watching. You better.
Charlie!
You gotta update that Instagram page that we never update. Please do it. So you guys might recognize Annika from what AfterBuzz shows do you do?
Right now, after this, I'm going to jump into Fuller House. I know all the sports fans are dying to see what's going on there with the Tanners, the Fullers.
Season 2. I don't know that.
Man.
But I've done Dance with the Stars, different ones. So, yeah, I just thought I'd hop over. Thank you guys for letting me join.
Of course, you guys show some love to Annika in the comment section. And don't be too hard on her because let me tell you, they drag us in the comment section.
Do they really?
Yes, they do, because we say the most inappropriate things. And they hate us, but it's okay. We still love them. Before we jump into our end of the year recap, I want to make sure that everyone out there knows that we give our condolences and our prayers to Craig Sager family, the TNT TBS family, passed away today after a long battle with leukemia. Josh and I were both honored to meet him, and you actually had a really good interview with him at the ESPYs this year. I just photobombed his interview and took some pictures and called the dogs with his son, who's a University of Georgia grad. Go Dogs, sit him. Josh, you
It's very surreal,
talk
very
about
cool
your
experience. I've been talking with him. You were right there, but the guy's you can tell he was sincere. He's thoughtful. He put his jacket on me, which is really cool. He's always known for his, flavorful outfits. Every night he reports. It was so great to be able to meet with him. He's a legend, and we're sad to see him go. And cancer sucks, man.
Yeah.
It's taken all the great ones.
Yeah, this year sucks in general. But you know what? We are going to be the icing on the cake to a tumultuous year with our speed round in sports. Now, you guys know that normally we sit here and debate topics 5-10 minutes at a time. But because there was so much major shit that happened this year, we have to cover it all within this hour that we have. So here's our little fancy little cup, little BHL, little logo cup. And what we're going to do, each of us is going to take turns pulling from the cup. And whatever we pull, we have to discuss it. And whoever pulls whatever topic has to lead that discussion. So you guys can play along in the comment section or on Twitter, wherever you want to play along. But this should be fun. And if your favorite lowlights or highlights from the year in sports did not make the cut, you be sure to tell us. Okay, Josh, one of you Joshes go first.
Go ahead, Josh.
You want me to go first?
Go
All
ahead.
right, I'll go first. Here we go. All right.
What you got?
College football playoff.
Oh, so glad.
Better or worse than the BCS? And is Bama beatable? All right, well, so we all know that I'm not the biggest college football fan. To answer the question, is it better or worse than the BCS? It's absolutely better. If you have a playoff system, it's absolutely better. It makes no sense to have a committee just choose two teams who they think are the two best teams in college football. So I am with the playoff. As we discussed on a previous episode, I'm actually in favor of like a 12-team playoff. I think 4 teams.
Jay.
Yeah. Give more teams a chance. I feel you.
You have to.
No.
I feel you.
4 teams is nothing. You have all these teams fighting for what?
I say the CFP is as flawed as the BCS. We talked about it recently.
As flawed?
I think it's as flawed as the BCS.
Okay.
Where if you have 8 teams and the 9th team who got left out is going to be bitching and saying, oh, we should have gotten in. If you have 12 teams and the 13th team, like there's always going to be a flaw. I think that the way that college basketball is set up with the field of 68 is the most ideal way to do it. But with football being so physical, obviously you can't do that. BCS was flawed because everyone thought that was a breeding ground for SEC dominance, which it was, but because we are, it is what it is. So I think they're both equally flawed. I think Penn State got screwed. I think Washington's lack of strength of schedule.
How did Penn State get screwed?
I don't know, Annika, you want to jump in? Go ahead. They got screwed.
I have to say, not about Penn State, but I agree with him that the CFP is better only because they're saying, a lot of articles I read online, and a lot of people are saying that the BCS is more profit oriented, like they're more after the money and not like after the players' well-beings and things like that. So I'm going with the CFP, man.
I just like a playoff system in general. You know?
Yeah.
And the more teams you can give a shot to win the national championship, I think it's better for the sport.
I feel you on that. I think throw the gauntlet down, let the teams fight through the seedings, through the bracket, and find a winner at the end. But to start with 4, that's too few teams to start with.
It has to be at least 8. At least.
At least.
I would say more than that.
Yeah.
More than
I
8.
say 12. Give the first top 4 a
because you got
bye.
the top 10.
Yeah.
You know, you cover that. It's the top 10 of the top 25,
Right.
and you got 2 extras.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that.
Okay.
Right. And then the second part is Bama beatable?
No.
Anybody's beatable.
No.
This is what I think it is.
Anybody.
I think it is.
When you
I think
step on that field, college is Saturday, right?
Right. Yeah. And
Any
Yeah.
given Saturday, anybody's beatable.
Nope.
But nobody's beating Bama.
No.
Right.
I feel like it's gonna I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be that point that they can't be the top all the time. I feel like someone's gonna go in there and beat them.
This year, though.
So this year, they'll be the top.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I thought you meant like
No,
general.
No, for this season.
Sorry
like,
about that. I thought it was like a general. Like, do you think they can get beat? I was like, hell yeah, they can.
Yeah, one day. But this season, I don't think Bama's beatable.
No. Okay. I misunderstood the question.
Annika, you go ahead. You pull. Your turn.
Okay,
You
I have
got
a couple that I really want to pull, so fingers crossed it's one of the ones.
Fingers
Fingers crossed,
Annika.
y'all. Okay.
No cheating.
No
Watch
cheating.
this. Cam
Make
Newton.
sure she's not cheating.
Cam Newton.
Oh, okay. This is actually one of them I want to talk about, so this is good. Gabby Douglas's edges. Why should or why should not her hair be a topic of
The
conversation?
girls got in trouble talking about this from what I understand.
This is a setup.
Let me go ahead and turn my notifications on right now. So I can go ahead and start deleting people from my Instagram. Go ahead.
Okay,
Annika, you
I'm
go
going
ahead.
to start it, and I said that her hair should not be topic of conversation. Has nothing. She's so talented. Her hair has nothing to do with anything. Why are we focusing on that? No one else is focusing on anybody else who has won this many championships, won this many Olympic gold medals. No one's talking about Ryan Lochte's hair. No one's talking about Michael Phelps' hair.
Okay.
No
So
one's talking about any. Like, why are we focusing on that?
I'm going to say this. As a black woman and as a performer, I grew up dancing, I grew up
Right.
twirling. And as a part of competitions, whether you were competing on the stage at a dance competition or whether you were twirling on the field for football, your appearance is as an important part of the show as is your performance. As a matter of fact, on score sheets and pageants and baton competitions and dance competitions, it has a percentage for your appearance. Now, when you look at track girls, for example, they aren't dancing, but those girls are fly as hell. They have their hair done, they have their nails done. When you look at dancers on Dancing, you host Dancing with the
Right.
Stars, those girls' hair, white, black, Latina, whatever, their hair is not effed up. And I think that people get so focused on, well, she's so talented, you can't criticize her hair. Well, as a performer, your appearance is a part of the show. It's showmanship. It's showmanship, and that's why I think it matters.
But why does it matter if she's not getting judged on? If that competition has nothing to
Yeah.
do with her appearance, then why does it matter?
Okay, so let's say
And she's winning gold medals.
no,
and
That's all.
I
That's all it is.
disagree.
That's
I
all it is.
disagree.
Her job is just to do her.
That's like
Gymnastics,
going
yeah.
to the ballet and looking at Misty Copeland or whoever like your favorite ballerina is, and them having no makeup on or having jacked up hair.
No, but
Or-
that
different,
performance
I
is
feel
more
like.
an
It's a
aesthetic
show.
performance. It plays more into a ballet
Okay.
performance.
I disagree.
Not into a physical performance.
That's like
And I
criticizing
feel like-
LeBron James for not wearing a headband.
And, and we
Right.
criticize the hell out of LeBron James'
And-
hairline. And
anyone.
he's not even a performer in that same vein.
Of anyone, especially on this network and with the stance you give a lot for the black side, the black men, for you to not stand up for a black woman in this regard, I think that's really poor taste.
But Josh, I'm not standing up for her. It's really interesting to me that people think that I can't criticize someone's appearance. That's not me saying, oh, Gabby's not talented.
You can do whatever you want. I think it's in poor taste that you do that and not stand for a sisterhood and actually encourage how
I'm encouraging, you would not let your little girl or your little niece go to school looking any kind of way. And
If my niece is winning gold medals,
that's a lie.
If I
That's
just
a lie. That's a lie, Josh.
Her
That's a lie.
her hairline is the least of my concern. I want to make
Listen.
sure she's still winning gold medals.
That's like saying you're not gonna go to a job interview without your hair, without your lineup, without your beard.
But
being
that's
like,
that. I might be critiqued there for my performance. But as far as
Exactly.
her athletic performance, she's not being critiqued.
I'm sorry.
for.
Again, aside from being a black woman, as a performer, as a dancer, as a major at a major university, you do not get on the field. You don't take any stage for competition without your whole self
In
being
that
together.
arena, maybe so.
Period, point
But in
blank.
gymnastics,
Period.
no. And if you spent more time on your sport and maybe not your hair, maybe you'd win some gold medals.
That is such a myopic. That's a very, very short-sighted view.
Maybe you win some
That's
gold
a
medals.
very short-sighted view. We disagree. Strongly
Okay.
disagree.
I'm really surprised that's what you think.
You should
Yeah,
have
very
seen.
I am too,
You should have
actually.
seen the girls' night. I mean, again, like I cannot stress enough. I praise Gabby. I'm so happy that she's so talented. This does not dismiss at all any of her achievements, but it goes in like you have to be well-rounded. Go ahead.
I just don't think it translates. For what you do, I understand like what you did in your field of competition. I don't think it translates to what she does in gymnastics. It's not the same thing.
Well, if it didn't translate, then you wouldn't have a whole world talking about it. It matters. Sorry.
She's out of Wheaties box. I don't think the whole world really cares
Well,
that
but
much.
guess what? I bet her hair doesn't look on the Wheaties box like it did on the competition.
Well, there she might be judged more for her
I bet her hair on the
sorry.
Wheaties box does not look like it did while she was competing,
Let's check.
and that's my point.
I just feel like if everyone's going to talk about her hair, then they should talk about all the Olympians' hair. Why are we only focusing
Right.
on hers?
Because hers is the one that needed the most help. I'm just being honest. And again, I'm not dismissing her talents. Like, listen, I've said over and over again, like when I was at UGA, like my sorority sisters had to tell me, Erica, like your hair looks jacked up. You cannot be the only black dancer on the basketball dance team with jacked up hair.
Dancers and majorettes, yes.
It's different. It's different.
It's not different. I'm sorry. I strongly disagree. You cannot go out there not looking your full best self when you are a performer. Point blank. Period. I don't care if you're competing for gold medals or if you're dancing.
What kind of performance are they doing? Athletic performance. This isn't a dance competition. This is athletic performance.
But they have dance.
Yeah, Josh,
Listen, I
keep
disagree.
moving. Keep moving. Just keep moving. We're gonna be here all. Agree to disagree.
Gabby, I love you. Okay, Odell versus the kicking. Oh
my God.
Versus the net. Are
That
Odell
boy.
Beckham's antics in general a distraction for the Giants? And where does Odell rank among this, I guess, seasons or this league's top receivers right now? So, okay, Odell kicking the net. I think that Odell gets a bad reputation for being too passionate. And I think when you have players like Jay Cutler, who of course they play different positions, they have different personas, but you have someone like Jay Cutler who's so lackadaisical, so laid back, and people are like, oh, he doesn't care. But then you have Odell Beckham who's kicking nets when he is passionate. It's like, oh, he's a thug, he's too passionate, like he's crazy. I don't have a problem with him kicking the net. I think he's young. I think he has a lot of maturing to do. I think he does need to find a different way to channel his anger on the field. But again, like he's 26 when I was 26.
24, yeah.
Oh, 24.
Yeah, he's
he's
young.
even younger. So he's young. He's learning how to handle the spotlight. You will see over the course of any professional athlete's career how they mature and how they become more sophisticated. He's 24 years old. I'm not mad with him kicking the net. His stats are great. He's doing what he needs to do on the field. He has his Giants in contention to win the NFC East still. You can kick all the nets you want. I'm not even a Giants fan.
But you know, when it comes to guys in sports, I think a lot of times if you fail to make a play or do something that maybe lets the team down, I think part of the issue is the fact that they have to give some public show of the fact that they're down on themselves and down on the play they did. I don't think they necessarily feel that way, but if you go around and kick a net, it kind of shows like, damn, I messed up. But you don't really have to do that. You can just go sit on the sideline, but it's like
Like Jay Cutler.
you kind of got to show people like, yeah, I'm so invested in what I just did that I'm going to, make a move to show that I'm just as upset over it as you, the audience.
As a fan,
is.
yeah.
So I think it's almost in a way like a little bit of show. Like, damn, I got to show them that I'm really upset about this.
Okay, but did you see the clip when he made the touchdown that he went and proposed to the net and he had like the right, and I was like, this guy, honestly, this is what I think that because if you look at other people's reactions when he does things like that where he puts the net over him and he lays down and he just like underneath it, if you look at everyone else, like the coaches and stuff on the field, they're like, oh, there he goes again. Like, that's the kind of look that they give. Like, oh, here he goes, just doing his thing. And I just feel like he just, maybe doing it for attention or maybe just doing it to goof off because it's gotten him attention,
Yeah.
good or bad, it's
a
gotten him
show.
attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's like, whatever, here I go. I'm going to go propose to the net. I'm going to go lay underneath it. I'm going to go kiss it. I'm going to go kick it. He wears his emotions with this net, and it's just, I think it started off as not meaning to, and it's just kind of continued off because he's getting attention for it.
I like it. I think it's a performance.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Look at his edges. I mean,
I don't really mind it, but when he does it for like just a negative,
Lined up, clean.
a negative version of his antics. Let's just say him throwing his helmet, because he's thrown his helmet a couple times. He
Yeah.
gets to Eli. First of all, because Eli doesn't like, he said it, in a couple press conferences. He hasn't said it outright, but he's hinted towards it. McAdoo, the coach, doesn't really like it too much. So it does affect the team, whether you know it or not, especially if it affects your quarterback. And if your quarterback's getting frustrated by it, that's a sign that maybe you should stop a little bit. But I do like his passion for the game.
Yeah.
Amongst the wide receivers, I think there's 3 wide receivers. There's Julio, there's Antonio, and there's Odell, and I think you can make a case for any single
I
one
do
of them
too.
for being the best wide receiver. I'm a Giants fan, but I personally think Julio Jones is the best receiver.
I was going to say, I'm not a Falcons fan particularly, but I do think that Julio is the top receiver right now. Also because Matt Ryan has been on fire this season. I mean, having a quarterback who's had the season.
no Falcons fan?
I'm not, you've never heard me say I was a
I
Falcons
know,
fan.
but I don't get you're from the A.
I'm not
around
from,
there.
I'm not
around
even
there.
know. My hometown was the closest NFL team to me was the Jaguars. Like I cheered for
Okay,
the Falcons,
okay.
but I wasn't even a fan.
My
I was
fault.
a fan of Vic when I was cheering, but I wasn't. Doesn't matter. So yeah, I think that Julio is probably the top receiver right now.
Okay.
Who do you think?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like Odell Beckham that much. I think he's a little bit overrated. I'll
no,
give
he's
it
not-
to,
he's not overrated.
I'll give it to
No.
Antonio Brown.
Okay.
You're a
Do you have an
hater.
opinion on that?
On the wide
Antonio?
receiver?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with him.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Wait, so AJ Green is nowhere near that mix?
He's up there, but I don't think he's better than him.
Yeah, I don't think he. And I think also the team because the Bengals are the underachieve
but-
so frequently.
yeah, but AJ's
I mean, no, listen.
yeah.
Listen, I'm an AJ fan.
I say Julio because of the
Wait,
size.
who has the most receiving yards this year?
That I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't think it's Odell.
No.
Fact check.
We would have to look that up.
Come on, Josh.
We'd have to look it up.
You go.
Let's see what I got. Melo becomes most decorated Olympian.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I think I
Please.
led this topic the
Oh
first
my
the
God.
Oh my
first time we
gosh.
talked about it. Okay, here's what I want to say. 'Cause I think we talked about this before. Melo being an Olympian, the most decorated, not Olympian, but most decorated
Olympic.
basketball,
basketball, who
Olympic.
cares?
U.S. men's basketball Olympian. Does that mean anything? Does that mean anything to you? Is that I know it's
No.
not. It can't mean more
You know
than the
what? You
championship.
know what?
but
No,
what
no,
does
no.
that mean for the greater sport of
I
basketball?
think-
Absolutely nothing.
And his legacy.
Hold on.
Absolutely
I
nothing.
think if Melo had ever won a championship or had even played for a championship, I think having been like the most decorated NBA Olympian would matter.
Yeah, it would mean a lot more. I
But-
agree.
But because he always falls short, he's going to one Western Conference Finals.
One.
He's going to
With-
one Western Conference
with
Finals.
Denver?
With Denver back in
He's
the day.
been out of the playoffs 2 times. First round of playoffs 2 times in his career.
And
Melo is not the man to lead a team.
I don't
No,
think
he's
so
not.
either.
Not the one.
And
No.
so, like, if that were, I don't know, anyone else that had actually performed on the court had even gotten to a finals, I think then at that point we could say, oh yes, awesome, he's the Finals MVP, he won a championship,
And
he's an Olympian, and he's the most decorated Olympian. But because he has not done anything in the finals.
It's
Hasn't made it,
It's
and
not even
that's
the
all he
finals
has.
thing. The whole decorated Olympian thing is so overblown. The best players in the world are on one team. They
Right.
all play for the
Right.
United States
Right.
of America. Everyone else in the country, if you're on Spain, you are the last man in the rotation on an
You're
NBA
fighting
team.
for second.
You may not even be in the rotation on the Timberwolves or whatever. Like
Yeah.
Ricky Rubio is on the Spain. Like he's not that good. There's other players.
Don't forget about the Gasol brothers now. You know, there's some exceptions.
Bojan from the Nets is not that good. Like these people are the best players on their country's
So
teams.
Andrew Bogut?
Andrew Bogut's a decent NBA player.
Yeah,
But I mean, when you combine all the players on the USA basketball team and you put them on one team,
True.
you're supposed to be.
It's stacked.
If you would have
It's
asked me, I think they underachieved this year. They had trouble.
they
with
did.
a
They did,
lot of
yeah.
games
They
that
did.
They shouldn't have
Specific
trouble with.
games.
And as far as Melo specifically, I cannot stand Carmelo Anthony. I'm the hugest Knick fan that you will ever meet, and I was against the trade from the very beginning, and I cannot wait till he gets away.
They were talking about that
Not to
today.
take away from his gold medals, but
nothing.
he's not the guy.
And not just that, I'm not taking away anything from his ability. He's one of the best one-on-one players that I
Yeah.
think. But you know what? When you try to build your team around someone who doesn't know the definition of the word team, you will never succeed as a team.
Annika, what you got
And
on
was
Carmelo?
that what? Okay, so question though, did he become the most decorated Olympian because he scored the most points there?
He's actually had a really
Most
good.
points.
Well, and-
yeah.
and-
Like
won-
in 276,
he has the most-
he
he has the most
276
points. Yeah.
there,
And
but
I
that's
believe
how they
has the most-
determine that.
Well, no,
And has the most gold medals.
It's
physical
combination.
gold medals.
Right.
It's a combination of both.
Yeah, so I think that if I think that if he hadn't scored as many, like he wouldn't have gotten. He would like. Here's the thing: when someone says the most decorated Olympian, I would think of like someone bigger. I was honestly shocked to find out he was the one. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well,
guys.
Because a lot of guys drop out though.
Yeah.
They don't even play. Like LeBron hasn't played
That's
every
true.
single
That's
Olympics
true. That's true.
that
That's
Melo
true.
has.
Like
That's
he,
true.
every time there's a Summer Olympics, Carmelo was like, "I'm there.
I'm going. I'm
Yeah,
going.
so-
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
plays
yeah.
well.
He does play well.
I can't front. He does play well when he's on the Olympics. But just my personal feelings being a Knicks fan and seeing the team gutted
Josh,
for him.
you know what? I'm very disappointed in you as being a Puerto Rican man
Yeah.
that you hate Carmelo Anthony. I'm very disappointed. I had to bring it
And
back.
you know what's
to
crazy?
bring it back.
As a person, like he seems pretty cool. I would
Yeah.
never want to step on a basketball court and be on the same team as him.
I agree.
Ever.
I'm glad you said that as a Knicks fan though.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're invested.
Because you're
in the
on
team,
the
so.
same side.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Knicks fans who disagree with me. A
Yeah.
lot of Knicks fans
They-
disagree.
well,
Yeah, but how can you see? He's been there how long now? What?
5, 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
He hasn't taken them anywhere.
He hasn't taken them
And
anywhere.
You can't build a team around him with him as the nucleus.
We had the worst season of our franchise with him. We've been on the first round once with him. They've actually only had one good season with him. That's when they won 54 games. Mike Woodson's first full year, and then they fired Woodson.
Was that
next year for whatever reason.
the Linsanity year?
No, that was the year after.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Someone who's not had a good season at home, like it's just ironic to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
It's just weird. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like I was honestly surprised.
I'm gonna pull.
well,
Something.
he's the only one who's played that.
He played that
those-
much. Yeah.
that's
So it
what
makes
is.
sense.
Yeah,
I'm nervous.
don't be nervous. Oh, wasn't it?
Crinkle.
Oh, we're gonna throw this away. Favorite moments from the Summer Olympics? We've already
It
done.
was my turn anyway.
No, it's not. Are we going back in the same order? Okay. Wait,
Okay, wait. Can I just
Wait,
say
throw it
one
back
thing
in
about
there.
that?
Wait. No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just one thing about the Olympics.
Yeah.
Anyone watch the trampoline?
No.
Absolutely
Oh my
not.
gosh, with Dong Dong, y'all need to go and Google
Absolutely
Is
this.
that somebody's name?
That's someone's name. That's the gold champion of trampoline.
Radon Dong?
Dong Dong. I kid you not.
Just Dong Dong.
Dong Dong.
Is he
Okay,
from,
don't-
is this person from like Thailand or something?
Yep. China, somewhere, yeah.
I know.
Malaysia,
And like,
Thailand.
y'all
I
need
took
to
your
go
turn,
and
go.
Google that. That's absolutely insane.
I'm throwing
Yeah.
this.
I have to throw that in there with the Olympic thing,
And
but
Puerto Rico got their first
You don't want to
gold
talk about
medal.
anything else about the Olympics?
Well, I mean, we did Gabby, we did Carmelo. I mean,
And Puerto Rico got
and,
their first.
trampoline.
Puerto Rico got its first
Trampoline,
gold,
dong dong.
gold medal.
There you go.
That was my highlight.
Cool.
Weba. All right, here we go.
Puerto Rico.
Here we go, here we go.
All right.
Puerto Rico.
Under new agreement, MLB All-Star Game winner no longer decides home field advantage. Agree or disagree? Agree so much.
Agree.
So much. It's an exhibition game. There is no reason that an exhibition game should decide home field advantage in a championship series of any sport. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. You have players in that game who are not even in the playoffs and then determining who gets home field advantage when there's teams fighting throughout their whole season to build this record for home field advantage. It just makes no sense. It's actually contradictory, and I'm glad they got rid of it.
You know, I have majorly flip-flopped on this because I really thought very strongly that I always think whoever has the best record should have home field, home court, home ice, whatever.
Yep.
But because MLB as one of the major four sports tends to be one of the ones that lacks in viewership, that lacks in excitement, having the MLB All-Star Game decide home field advantage gives it an air of excitement that it doesn't have throughout the regular year watching 160 or 180 whatever however many games, 500 games. So again, I have been a politician. I have flip-flopped back and forth. I used to agree with you, but after some serious thought, I really do think that MLB needs this kind of excitement to keep it relevant. Either that or make the games shorter. Don't let the games go 20
them.
games.
Don't have 162
Yeah.
of
Don't have
them.
162
Yeah,
games.
cut
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Cut that in
Yeah.
half.
Well, the reason why they
cut
made
it.
it relevant to begin with was because there was an All-Star game in Milwaukee that ended in a tie, and Bud Selig was like, all right, we need to fix this because fans were mad that it ended in a tie. There needed to be a winner. And he just overshot,
Yeah.
what he needed to do. And was like, all right, well, this one determines home field advantage in the World Series. And actually, I think the AL won like 80% of the games, which is crazy.
Okay.
So.
I like that now it's going to the pennant winner, so whoever has a better season the whole
Yeah.
time.
It
That's
just
what I
makes
think. That's
sense,
what
sports-wise.
like whoever's better, they get to pick. Like,
Right.
why are we? I
Yeah.
disagree
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I do agree, however, that they do need to be shorter. That's too many.
It's too many games
It's
in the season.
way too many. Cut that like in half.
Sorry, Charlie.
And
for watching.
are players playing hard in that game? Are they
Yeah.
playing hard, or are they just swinging for the fences?
Well, they're playing hard, but at the same time, you have, like, let's just say the Tampa Bay Rays. They're terrible. You might have, like, Evan Longoria starting at third. I know he didn't start this year, just the first player that came to my head. He might be starting at third, and he's on a last-place team, and then he only plays 3 innings, and you know what I mean? It's just...
It doesn't seem
it's-
fair.
It doesn't...
Up in the air to decide something as
just
important as
doesn't-
home field advantage.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay. Next topic. Who's next?
Anaka.
Okay. I have a couple more. I feel like I should have good luck. They wanna. This one bled through, but here we
Cam
go.
Newton.
No, I would pass it on to y'all. Players in protest. Cape's national anthem protest. LeBron, Mark Cuban, and others refuse to stay at Trump properties. What's your perspective on major sports stars taking a stand on hot button political issues? Look, I'm just gonna say this right now. I would not stay in a Trump property, so I don't blame these people. I don't blame these people for not. Why? Like, I feel like it's a personal thing to them. Why would they want?
Yeah.
If they don't support the person, why are they gonna go stay in his? Why are they gonna go make him richer? Like, why? I don't know. I'm with it. I feel like, why are you?
You know, it happened again. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
No, go ahead. You go. You go.
It happened again with the Lakers 2 nights ago before they played the Nets.
The Nets,
last
yeah. Last night.
before
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they didn't. They chose not to stay as a team.
The whole team?
At, yeah.
Oh, good
at the,
for them.
The Trump Towers.
Good for
Yeah,
them.
absolutely
I think it's
not.
Trump
I would be
Soho
like,
or something.
absolutely not. I will sleep on the street.
Right. And it's-
You wouldn't sleep on the street.
No, I would sleep somewhere else.
there are a lot of people like sleeping on the streets in New York, though, so
Like-
you'll be right at home, But it's actually bleeding over into, I guess I can't say mainstream, but to public schools. The public schools who normally send their bands to perform in the inauguration have not applied.
Yeah,
No.
I saw that.
Yeah,
And he can't get. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you
go
off.
ahead.
He can't get singers to sign on for the inauguration ball.
Yep.
He cannot get anyone to agree. He has reached out to he's reached out to a lot
He'll
of
get
like.
he'll get a country singer.
Really?
Yeah.
He'll get Kanye. Kanye's gonna show up. You watch.
Somebody.
Hey, Kanye. Kanye, please.
So I definitely agree with you, Annika. I think we all agree on the not staying at Trump Towers
Yeah.
if you don't support his divisive rhetoric. That's been like, well, go ahead.
I agree with all forms of peaceful protest. And this is a peaceful
Except for
protest.
Colin Kaepernick kneeling, which you totally
No,
decided.
that was me.
Well, but no, I thought that you said it didn't matter anymore since he didn't vote. No, you said.
No, I
oh,
defended
that
him.
was Josh.
That-
who
I
who
said that.
You
You
said.
don't vote. I can't listen to you anymore.
Charlie
I
and
can't.
Josh said that, and I said not voting
Yeah.
is like is basically having an opinion.
My mom and I got into a back and forth about Colin
Yeah.
Kaepernick. She was so disgusted that he didn't vote, and I explained to my mom what you said, J. Rod, about how not voting is still having a voice. And even though I don't particularly subscribe to that
Right.
philosophy, I do think that Colin Kaepernick's kneeling, I agree with it from the beginning. Like when the story broke
Yeah.
on Twitter that weekend, I was thinking to myself, you go before anyone else, not anyone, but before a lot of people were actually supporting him. So even though Colin Kaepernick didn't vote, I am still 100% in support of his kneeling during the national anthem.
Yeah, I'm supportive of all peaceful protests. And like I said, the whole non-voting thing. If you gave me, like, if we're going to dinner, and you're like, all right, Josh, you can have arsenic or rat poison, and I'm like, you know
Or
what?
these other 3 candidates over here.
No,
that,
but
you know, they have
but you know for a
Or the
fact.
appetizers, i.e. the down ballot.
But you know for a fact that everyone at the table is choosing, and we're gonna have one thing, and you're gonna either have rat poison or arsenic. And
So
you
you
just
just
say,
not gonna eat, huh?
like, no, I am not gonna vote for something that's gonna kill me. period.
We've debated about Colin Kaepernick and the national
But
anthem
am I
protest
right?
so
But
much.
you get where I'm coming
I mean,
from?
you're not
Agree
going to
or
die
disagree?
either way from these candidates, but I'm saying you could have.
but that's how some people looked at it.
Your voice could have been heard in some kind of way, and like we said in that discussion before, participate in your local election at least.
At least.
around you that
Yeah.
that affects
Yeah.
more
I
directly
agree.
what you're
City
going
stuff,
through.
yeah.
I agree. I think people don't realize how much the state and
the
you know,
local, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
affects them.
Annika,
Yes.
your thoughts on Colin kneeling for the national anthem?
I think that. Look, I feel like this is kind of bleeding into the thing about the NFL ratings dropping, but they found out that a lot of NFL ratings are dropping because people are kneeling or are not standing for the national anthem, and I feel like who are we to say he can't kneel? Like if he wants to do that, let him kneel, let him do what he needs to do. But I don't know. It doesn't bother me, honestly.
We even JJ's dad called in. And,
Oh yeah, my dad was against.
Yeah.
it. Right, he was
Wait,
against
oh, wow.
it, right?
yeah, huh?
Was my dad against it?
Yeah, your dad was against it. And I was like, listen, Josh's dad, let me tell you
Is he a
something.
vet?
Yeah, he's
And a
vet.
police
Okay.
officer,
Vet.
retired police officer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said that he thought that he should stand up. I don't think your dad likened it to being disrespectful to the military, but I think your dad was over. I think he said that the first time, whatever, but then he should
Yeah,
start
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No.
Well, I'm just saying, like, people, I don't know. I feel like people, I don't know if he does it to be disrespectful. I don't know the guy personally, obviously, but I just feel like people have different ways of showing love and it depends, but you know what I'm talking about, showing, like, their appreciation for something. And if that's the way he does it, who are we to say everyone has to stand up to do it? Everyone has
Yeah.
to put their right hand over their heart. Everyone has to, But like, what if that's his way of showing it? What if standing up is not his way of showing appreciation? You know, I don't think he's doing it to be like malicious or rude or anything.
I mean, Colin Kaepernick was very intentional. He made it very clear why he was kneeling. He said, "I'm not standing for a country who governs on the basis of keeping people who look like me behind the 8 ball." So
and it worked, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it looked like it worked.
It caught on. I mean, it started a global conversation. I mean, different charities, different organizations have been donating money to causes that are trying to enforce better police to civilian relationships. So I definitely think that Cap's kneeling has had a positive effect. I do agree. And I mean, look, he has some major balls to do that. And his parents came out, his white adopted parents came out this week and said that they fully support him.
I heard they did in the beginning.
Well, I don't know that they did, but today,
That could have
this
been
week,
fake news.
I know, it could have been.
Oh, yeah.
I know. They said this week that they supported him. And NFL ratings, I just want to jump on that since you mentioned that, Annika. Like, I have a hard time believing that NFL ratings are dipping because men are kneeling. I think it's the election.
Yeah.
I think we have so many other ways to digest our media. We have Twitter. You have NFL games on Twitter.
Right.
You have your phones on you all the time. People are on the go. You have Netflix and chill. You have Hulu. Like, there's so many other ways that you can consume your content.
You know, I do the Monday Night Football after show on AfterBuzz. And occasionally fill in for the Thursday Night Football, and the games have been terrible. Like, to be completely honest with you guys, they've just been terrible games. So people are checking out after the second quarter, third quarter. And
Tonight, Rams and Seahawks.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, though, not only the games and the politics and the presidency, and also another reason was because I think it's the domestic violence cases that are up against these players and how they are being handled.
Yeah.
And then I feel like, you know, I mean, people are watching this and like, oh, this guy is playing football, but he's going home and beating his wife, beating his girlfriend, beating his baby mama, whatever the case may be. But it's like, and then they don't really get repercussions for their actions. So I think people are like, that's disgusting. They're getting away with it. I'm not going to support this. I'm not going to support their team. I'm not going to watch this. So then viewership kind of goes down.
I do have to go. I'm sorry, J. Rod.
Oh,
I do want to ask this, even though this wasn't particularly on the topic on the list. When it comes to, we've discussed this too, Annika, and I want to know what you think, and all of us, what you come to the conclusion about. But I mean, there are men in all kinds of industries who are abusing their wives, girlfriends, baby mamas, whatever. And I'm not by any means saying that domestic violence is acceptable or should be excused or should those look like they should be coddled.
Yeah.
But don't say what I'm going to say.
Good.
But
I don't know what you're saying.
So you were like,
That was me.
Oh, that was you. I guess what I'm saying is that these NFL players live such a public life that we're so quick to say, oh, I'm not going to watch an NFL game because Ray Rice beat his wife, or I'm not going to watch an NFL game because Mike Vick killed dogs. But what is your pastor doing? What is the principal
What is your boss at work doing?
What is your boss at work doing?
Would you stop working there?
What are you doing when you go home? You know, are you are you yourself in a situation where you are supporting and enabling a man who is violent? So I'm not saying that NFL players should not be reprimanded. Of course, with fame comes a certain kind of responsibility, but also people have to remember that this kind of activity, these players represent a microcosm of society. This is going on in every kind of industry.
Yeah.
So,
I just think that you should punish them more severely than you punish someone for using marijuana.
God, yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that too.
Yeah.
Who's up?
I think Erica is.
Is it me?
Yep.
Let me see if I can get something really controversial.
Let's go. Let's go.
I don't think we got all the big time controversial ones.
That was a heavy topic.
That was a very heavy topic. That was definitely one of the top stories of 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one feels somewhat controversial. Let's see.
Let's see.
Oh.
What is it? What?
I was right, y'all. Lamar Jackson wins the Heisman as expected. No, y'all. He won the Heisman as expected, but Twitter trolled the hell out of his speech.
Did they?
Okay.
What
yes,
happened?
they did. They
When I saw this,
did.
what
They did.
happened?
I gotta leave it. I
gosh.
gotta leave it to you guys. You have the
God.
floor.
What happened?
So I can't even do it any justice. So
It was sad.
Okay, so Lamar Jackson's speech went like this: oh snap, this crazy. The whole speech. oh snap, this crazy.
No.
Oh snap, this crazy. Oh man, oh snap, this
Media
crazy.
training, somebody to be like, you might win you're going to win.
How did I not?
So
Let's prepare your speech.
Lamar Jackson, of course, hands down, he was the front runner from
Yeah.
the beginning. I don't think there was ever a time where he dropped out of Heisman contention. But because his speech lacked clarity and direction, I'm just trying to be as politically correct as I can, he got dragged on Twitter. Personally, as a black woman in America, I feel that Lamar Jackson represents what's not right about collegiate sports. You say these guys are getting a free education. If you saw Lamar Jackson's speech, he's not getting a free education. He's not even going to class. Like, see that speech, he's not going to class. He hasn't gone to one class in years. Probably not even in high school.
That speaks to the coddling of the super athlete, the
It
high
does.
school, the college athlete who they're making exceptions for to continue playing.
And it bothers me because in one sense you want to say, don't pay these boys, they're getting free, educations, but then they get on national television and they literally cannot speak, not even eloquently, they can't even form complete sentences that are that you can even understand. Like, it's really almost unintelligible. I had to have a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you blaming the education? Because I mean, maybe he chose not to attend class
Josh,
since the ninth grade.
Really?
Are you saying it's the school's fault?
It is the school because they have to fail him if
It's
he's not
the-
attending
Thank
class.
you.
I'm saying, but his opportunity was there. Did he not take it?
Listen, you go to class and you miss 2 days. You go to class and the next man up is skipping class and he's on the field working harder than you.
Okay.
Then-
I mean, I see your point now when you're comparing to the fact if you go to class, what are they really scheduling football practices in 2 days at class time?
Get in my face.
What happened to the freaking
You know what,
college,
though?
the student athlete, the scholar
exactly.
athlete?
That's my whole point.
I also blame this on Louisville because I know when Tebow won the Heisman, he wasn't media savvy either. Not that he had trouble speaking,
Yeah.
but he wasn't good with the media, and they trained him so that when he had public appearances, he was able to speak.
Here's-
And he's a fantastic speaker.
Oh,
If you ever
God,
hear
yeah.
Tebow speak, he's fantastic. So Louisville, knowing that he's a Heisman frontrunner, should have
Yes.
trained him for that
Yeah,
moment.
absolutely.
Here's what boggled my mind about that speech. He's like, hang on, let me get my paper out. I've written this down. So he like took out a piece of paper, a couple pieces, and opened it, and he starts reading. And you're like, okay, he's reading he's written this out, his thoughts. I'm not trying to play devil's advocate because that was really like tough speech to get through and like watch. And even the people behind him, like there was this one guy behind him, y'all. He was rolling his eyes at him as he's reading the
It was
speech.
bad,
It was
y'all.
really bad.
It was very
Maybe he was
uncomfortable to watch.
nervous?
It was that's what I'm saying. I'm like, but
was
like he
uncomfortable
was
to
like he
watch.
just won this Heisman award. Like I don't know if it was a nerve, and he just kept losing his place. He's like, hang on, where am I? Where was I? And he just kind of like
That's nerves.
I'll say
Doing
like a lot.
this?
That's
you know,
nerves.
if I'm nervous.
Yeah.
And then he started thanking Deshaun and the other candidates.
Yeah,
It was
He's like, it's like a brotherhood. I met you guys like just right now, but you guys took me in like your brothers. Like
That's sincere.
he like I.
I'm trying to find
Go
everything.
ahead. No, go for it.
Here's the thing. I honestly think it was nerves mixed with no practice of, giving a speech. He probably didn't, he wrote his speech and didn't look at it. He's up there, he's nervous. He just won something that's so huge. He's trying to read it, losing his place, looking out to the crowd, seeing his mom, getting emotional, looking back down, can't find his place, freaking out, is in shock. I think it's a combination of all that. I think had he practiced the speech he wrote, that he
Maybe.
actually wrote down, I feel like the one he wrote down wasn't bad. I give him the benefit of the doubt, maybe. I feel like the speech he wrote down was probably not bad. And I feel like the nerves and the shock and the emotions and the all of it kind of got the best of him, and I don't know what went down, but my God, it was like people's faces and behind him
bad.
were just
Yeah.
like, oh.
Here's the thing, Annika and Josh, like you have to make some time to watch it. I agree with what you're saying. It was probably a combination of everything. Like
Right.
the magnitude of the moment is something that none of us will ever know on that level, at least. But as in America, when you're a part of a marginalized group, whether you're a female or black, any kind of minority, you have to be 100 times better than expected to even be accepted as average. And Lamar Jackson's acceptance speech was not even average. factor in the nerves, factor in how big the moment is, factor in the fact that he probably doesn't go to class. I get that. But you don't get those excuses when you look like Lamar Jackson. You don't. You know, Johnny Manziel could have gotten up there and been as ignorant or as unprepared. But we're not gonna call him out like we would call out a black man. And that's what hurts me, because he might be somewhat intelligent. He might be somewhat articulate, but because he failed to show that on the biggest stage of the football season, now people are going back into their minds and saying, oh, he perpetuates the stereotypical black athlete, and it makes me so sad.
Oh, yeah.
I think another thing that didn't help his cause was that because he kept taking so many pauses in the speech and like kind of losing his spot, it was a longer speech than probably if he had just read what was written down. And because it was longer, it was just kind of it was longer and it was bad and it was just dragged out. And I was like,
Oh snap! Oh snap! This crazy.
He needed someone, a team or a mentor to run him through. Okay, here's how it's gonna go. Here's how you say it. Say it 5 times. Go over this speech.
Yep.
Some kind of media training.
Something.
I gotta watch.
They should have
I don't
that.
know if I want to watch it. Now.
All college programs should have that. Now that you said that, I'm surprised all college programs don't have some type of media training.
Yeah.
What he just said.
And his mama's name was Felicia.
Is what?
Are you serious? You can't make that up.
I'm just stating the facts. Don't roll your eyes.
Oh yeah, this was sad. Muhammad Ali, boxing legend. Boxing legend Muhammad Ali passed away this year, which is really tough because this guy stood for a whole generation, a whole people, even surpassed outside of his generation. So many people looked up to him as a sports legend, as someone who's a motivator, as someone who was good at the top of his field, as someone who broke down barriers. This guy was also very controversial in the fact that he said some controversial things. And I think we talked about it on our show before, how who looked at him in what way because of what he said. I mean, he said some things that some people call him a draft dodger. Some people weren't feeling that. What do you guys think about that? The fact that he did kind of run away from the draft.
I think Muhammad Ali is a perfect example of how hindsight is 20/20, because the same way we crucified Colin Kaepernick for kneeling during the national anthem is the same way Muhammad Ali got crucified and vilified for dodging the draft, for being so vocal against Vietnam, for calling white men the blue-eyed devils, for subscribing to the philosophies of the teachings of Islam. But then, lo and behold, it's X amount of years later, now he's a national hero and a national treasure. So I have no qualms with that. I have no problems with that, because I do think that because Muhammad Ali was such a risk taker, he cemented a legacy for himself. But what's interesting to me is that I've only ever known him since he was sick. So
Same.
my first memories of Muhammad Ali were
Never
him
seen him box.
lighting the torch in the '96 Olympics, and other than that, all I know of him is him having Parkinson's, and then studying the film. So I don't know. I was very sad. I mean, of course I'm sad, but I'm happy that our parents and grandparents' generations had someone like Muhammad Ali to pave the way and to be the Colin Kaepernick maybe of his day.
Yeah.
That's a tough comparison.
Greater than Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but taking that
Still
stand to
took a
speak
stand.
out when no one else agrees with you, that's especially in the 60s.
Yeah.
When they were really, well, they're still doing it now. Never mind.
No, it was worse.
I'd be
It was worse.
afraid too. I'd be like, I'm going to run away to
was
Canada
worse.
somewhere. I'm afraid to go to war.
Yeah.
I mean, I can totally agree and get on board with what he was probably thinking at the time. And he was at the top of his, growing in his career. Why would he jeopardize all that and possibly lose his life?
Because
for a
Cam
country
Newton's
at that time
not
who didn't
jeopardizing
really,
it.
It was just heartbreaking because towards the end he didn't even remember that he was a legend because he was so the disease got a hold of him and got a hold of his brain. Like his daughter would say in interviews all the time, like my dad has no idea. We'd play videos of his fights and he would think he's watching somebody else and ask who is that guy? And they're like, Dad, that's you in the fighting. No, I didn't do that. He had no recollection. They would show him pictures. That was just heartbreaking, I guess, because I kind of saw those moments, I didn't see his, time to shine. But it's just heartbreaking to see such a legend, such a, a huge, famous person that, everyone loved and just doesn't even remember he had that life. It's just insane to me. It's very heartbreaking. And, yeah.
Is he the greatest athlete of all time?
I think he's up there.
I wouldn't say he is, but I can't deny that he's probably the best boxer.
Kobe.
Let's get to that one. I'm waiting to pick it.
Who's next?
I was saying Kobe's the greatest athlete, although I was kidding.
I know you.
I'm glad you were
good.
kidding.
I was Michael Jordan.
Warriors blow a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals and the fallout of it. LeBron's legacy, signing of Durant, all that good stuff. So where do I begin with the Warriors?
Wow, we put all that on one sheet.
Yeah.
Dang. We know how Erica feels.
Yeah, I know how you should feel too. They blew a 3-1 lead.
All right, so I wasn't here. I wasn't actually on the panel when they blew the lead. So I'm just gonna give my take on the series in general. I think to this day, I still think the Warriors were the better team. I think they should have won the finals. I think 8 out of 10 times that series is played, they win the finals. To be honest with you,
Did Draymond play a factor?
did what?
Draymond Green?
Getting
in
suspended
his-
that game.
No, you know what? They only had him. They didn't have him for one game. You have him for 2 games. There's really no excuse to lose 3 straight to the
That's true.
Cavaliers. My mind, the reason why the Warriors lost that game, or Game 7 at least, is because they went away from what they do best, and that's move the ball. You know, their offense is such predicated on ball movement and finding the open man and getting open shooters. In the last 5 minutes of the game, it was just isolation, dribble, step back 3. I know sometimes that works, but in the finals, when the defense is tight, you know, it's not going to work. You got to move the ball and run your offense, and they didn't do that. And it affected LeBron's legacy. I mean, if you think about it, LeBron loses his finals.
Ooh.
What?
Wow.
I mean,
Remember when he chased down that block? He was chasing down
Yeah.
his legacy.
He was.
Yes.
Right there.
He
He
was.
had to get that block.
yes. Now he has 3 rings instead of 2. You know, he beat a 73 win regular.
73,
I mean,
yeah.
he probably, arguably beat the best finals team of all time,
Yeah.
record-wise.
Record-wise, for sure.
You know, Jordan never beat a
This is
team like that.
That's a great team.
Magic never beat a team like that. Bird never beat a team like that. Partially because Jordan was that team.
Jordan was
Right. right.
So, but at the same time, it totally cemented LeBron's legacy. I mean, if he didn't win that series, we'd be talking every week about what's LeBron's legacy going to be.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
he's not like people. Don't get me wrong. We're in Los Angeles. I can't stand when people compare him to Kobe. He's so much better than Kobe. I will not get into that right now.
Ooh, Josh, those are fighting words.
He is
Those are fighting
head
words.
and shoulders
Josh.
past Kobe. It's ridiculous. And if the Warriors win that game, Game 7 or Game 6, Durant's not a Warrior right now. He's still in OKC.
Good point.
The league looks different. And who knows what OKC could be right now.
I agree with all of that. I agree with all of that, and I also think that the Cavs beating the Warriors last year and defeating them, dethroning them, and beating them, making them lose a 3-1 series, puts in other teams' minds and coaches' minds that the Warriors are mortal. Of
agree with
course,
that.
like statistically, I think offensively, statistically, they're better this year. Obviously, they just added a huge offensive piece in Kevin Durant, but
They had a huge shadow cast on them for sure.
they did, and record-wise, we are seeing them drop a game every other week or so. You know, whatever the factor, however
Yeah.
the math works out. So we know now as a league that they're beatable, and I think that coaches have tapped into their weaknesses, and we've known for a while that one of their weaknesses is defense. And I think adding more offense takes away from their ability to get stronger defensively, as we have seen. They barely beat the Pelicans the other night.
Yeah.
And they barely beat a lot of teams. And they have, 4 or 5 losses,
Well,
which is unheard of for the Warriors.
Yeah, well, they're going to have trouble with any team that has a big man. That's their, you know, they're going to get out-rebounded by anybody who has a big man.
But Anthony
That's pretty
Davis,
much their strength.
I mean, the fact that, listen, I love Anthony Davis. I think he's one of the most talented players in the league. But that's a team with one player.
Oh, they're terrible.
Yeah.
They have one player.
all they
They're
got.
awful.
I mean, you have one. I mean, granted, the Pelicans. I mean, the Warriors still won, but they barely beat a team that has one player. I'm good on the Warriors this year.
Yeah.
So you don't see them. I mean, this isn't part of the question, but do you see them making it to the finals?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think so. I don't
Yeah.
think so.
I still think they should win it all.
I don't think so. Annika, what you got?
I think they could do it. Here's the thing. I think Kevin Durant being on the team helped LeBron James win his 5th MVP.
What do you mean?
I feel like Kevin Durant playing on the team is what helped LeBron James out. I think it helped him more than it hurt him. Does that make sense?
I definitely think that LeBron will have an opportunity to shine more.
With Durant on the Warriors, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean,
Are you going to give LeBron the MVP this year?
No.
I don't
no,
think so.
No.
Who are you gonna give it to?
Russell
Westbrook.
Westbrook.
First of all, Russell Westbrook is what?
James Harden.
Neither of them will. Again, granted, both of them have more pieces than Anthony Davis does. You cannot play. Even Russell Westbrook is his triple doubles. He hasn't had triple double in 4 games now. You can't.
He has 11 this year.
I know, but my point is that you cannot, when you are ultimately the only person on that team who is carrying that team on your shoulders, you can't do that for 82 games.
No, I agree.
And so what happens is injuries and, nagging injuries, and then you need to rest, and then you're tired,
Right.
and then your team starts losing. And as soon as your team becomes a team that we're not talking about every single day, then your chances of becoming the MVP become less and less and less. And I think that Harden and Westbrook will both fall victim to being the star player they're both carrying their teams. They're carrying the whole weight of 2 major organizations who are really trying to make deep playoff pushes, and those playoff pushes depend on their success, and your body cannot carry a whole team like that for 82 games.
longevity
I
is
do
gonna-
respect
is
that
gonna
argument a
hinder
lot. I think that's a very good argument. I think that's the only argument right now you can make, because right now they're the front runners. But
That's a smart argument.
Who's your pick?
CP or LeBron.
CP.
Yo, statistically,
That's Homer.
I mean,
That's you are a Clippers fan.
Listen, no,
through and through.
Listen, I will talk shit about the Clippers.
Yeah.
I will talk shit about them
Yeah.
all day long. I mean, they disgust me on a regular basis. But I think that CP has shown this year that he is the most consistent, multifaceted point guard right now.
But he's doing that. He's
Right now.
great. He's doing that every year. But why? I don't think he's ever in that conversation for MVP.
He's always in the conversation.
I don't know-
But
I don't
he
know if
always
this
gets
year should've
hurt.
been.
Sorry.
I do agree with you, though. A lot of people are claiming Westbrook and Harden are the best point guards in the league. If I had to choose one point guard to start a team around, I would choose Chris Paul.
At least right now in the season.
And that's not a popular opinion. Everyone, if people who are listening right now are probably like, "What are you crazy?"
Oh, Chris Paul's a great point
No,
guard.
but a lot of people would choose Westbrook or Harden over him.
I would not choose
Yeah.
erratic Westbrook.
Yeah.
Would
So,
not
so
start.
you have LeBron as MVP?
I would.
Okay. LeBron. and
I have
Westbrook.
someone else that will not get it, but I
Who?
would love for him to.
Who?
He will not.
Who?
I like
Giannis.
no. I like Brooke Lopez in the Brooklyn. Look, I told y'all he's not
She's
gonna get
new.
it. I told y'all he's not gonna get it. I'm telling y'all.
You're a Nets fan?
Cute.
You're a Nets
Yeah.
fan? Okay.
Well, I should rephrase that. I'm a Brooke Lopez fan. There
Are
you
you
go.
at Stanford? Did you go to Stanford?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
You see,
So,
you see
I
him
told
you
y'all
see him
he's
get
not gonna
dunked
get
on?
it.
Did
I'm
you see
just
Brooke
saying.
Lopez get dunked on the other day?
I
No,
did
I
see
didn't.
that. Oh my gosh, that was insane.
by who?
Larry Nance.
That was insane.
Oh no! I saw the tweet. I didn't click on it. I didn't watch the game. I couldn't watch it, but I got to go back and look at that.
It was crazy.
Watch
It was
it.
bad.
Just watch it.
Did it make sports on
Yeah.
top?
Watch it, then tweet me.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Gosh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
We have time for one more, maybe?
Here you go.
Is that already time?
Yeah.
It's gonna be something good, you guys. I feel it.
Real quick.
Cam Newton.
Very quick.
No,
Nobody
Cam.
knows why I was saying that.
Right.
The Cubs win the World Series. General thoughts about the team and the curse.
Can we throw that one
Yeah,
away?
can we pick another one to end on?
Yeah,
Unless you
yeah.
want to talk about that.
Yay, Cubs. Congratulations, Chicago.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
All right.
And Craig Sager was a Cubs fan too, so congrats to Craig.
Ah, that's a
Sager.
good
R.I.P.
one.
Craig
I
Sager.
don't-
R.I.P.
Aretha
Craig
Franklin.
Sager.
Aretha, okay, I'm gonna say
Oh,
this.
what is this?
Aretha Franklin, when she sang the national anthem on Thanksgiving
So
Day,
long.
it was 4 minutes, and it's so funny because Yahoo and other sports outlets had this as their front page of news that Aretha Franklin sang one of the longest national anthems.
So long.
And I think it was long. It was 4 minutes.
What
but
happened? She dragged it out?
It's like it was a gospel rendition of the national anthem, and I'm thinking to myself, everybody who's ever gone to a black church knows this is what we do. She just did the black church version of the national anthem. Y'all leave Aretha Franklin alone. Y'all, listen. The question was Aretha Franklin. What was the question? Something about leave your auntie alone, or
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, come get your auntie, or leave Aretha alone. I said leave Aretha alone.
You always leave Auntie alone.
yeah.
But what do you think about
Oh.
this? Because some people have an issue with the stylization of
that.
She's 70 years old. She is
national
as much of a
anthem. Have you heard those
legend.
people like, don't do all this and that and the whoop-de-whoops and the runs. Keep it simple. There's people who have that complaint.
Right.
that
And
just-
anybody who does that it's their own tribute to the anthem. They should just
True.
take it as a compliment.
Good point.
And also, there's certain things you can't tell a 75-year-old black woman anything. So there's
Tell my
that.
mama nothing.
And if you look at people's expressions while she's singing, like they're just kind of in shock that it's still going on. Like the players are just like, oh, we're still standing here, okay. And then towards the end, when she starts going up and down the scales and doing this like thing, all the players are like, yeah, cheering her on. So of course that keeps her going. It was you guys have to watch it. It's
was it
honestly a
good?
very long video, but do
It's
it.
Aretha Franklin. It's like being in church.
It really is.
I think she's trying to be in the kind of live that moment and bring some of that Aretha Franklin
Her
back.
concert back to the national anthem.
Yeah.
She did.
We're being told by the voice of God that is it. Is there anything else you want to?
While you were going, I was looking at
16,
stuff.
Kobe.
Kobe.
Kobe, great career. Peyton Manning, great career.
Peyton Manning, hey.
Tim Duncan.
Might as well empty it. Just go
Ryan
around.
Lochte, what lies to the world.
Ryan Lochte, you're a liar. You're a liar, Ryan Lochte.
Kobe retired. The
Which, by the way,
rise
I
and
love the
fall of
Lakers
Cam
after
Newton.
Kobe.
Cam Newton. Listen, Cam Newton's
He
coming
gets a
back.
bad rap. He gets a bad rap.
Cam Newton's coming back next year.
I think it's a bad rap.
I don't. I
feel bad for
disagree.
You think he's
I
not
feel bad
coming
for
back?
Cam.
I never thought he was that good.
You suck.
Oh, man.
I think he has an incredibly high ceiling and an incredibly low floor.
I agree with you. That doesn't mean that he's not.
He's very talented, but it takes this to be a great quarterback every year, and I don't think he has that.
I don't think he's protected as other quarterbacks. So
That is also true.
Okay, guys. This was
That's it?
fun. I don't know.
Well done.
Y'all, this is our end of the year episode. We hope that you enjoyed our 2016 recap in sports. Did we leave out any of your favorite moments? We tried to kind of cover the whole gamut. I mean, we covered everything from, we didn't talk about Ronda Rousey, crybaby on Ellen every time she gets a chance.
And she's going to lose again.
And she's gonna lose again. Or Floyd or Conor McGregor. We did leave out some other
Yeah.
major sports, but that's okay. We'll be back next year, fussing, arguing. Shout outs to Raina and Charlie who are not
Yes.
here with us today.
Yes.
And big round of applause for Annika for sitting in with us
Thanks, guys. It was
today.
fun.
Thank you.
Every Thursday night at 7 o'clock is where you can find us, your favorite sports show ever in life. We are on a 2-week break. We will be back the first week of January. I'm Erica Renee Davis. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Insta Story at Erica Renee D.
Hey guys, I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy Hanukkah.
Definitely.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy holidays. Comes
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yep.
I just hope you guys have a happy and safe holidays. Great to hang with you this year, and hopefully next year we even do it better. Joshua Johnson, find me on social media at JJ the Talented.
Happy holidays, happy New Year, everybody. I'm Josh Rodriguez. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_. Please debate me, please. I live for it.
Again, happy holidays to everybody. Please stay safe out there. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Annika Michelle 1.
And as always, follow all things Black Hollywood Live on BlackHollywoodLive.com. Follow us on Twitter at BHL Online. Follow us on Instagram at The Sports Weekly, guys. Uber everywhere. And drink a lot, but Uber. Until next year, 2017 will be bigger and better for all of us. Happy New Year.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.